What do I think of this game? I'll be honest. Story-wise, there's a lot of potential. Let me preface it with this, right? There's a lot of potential for this game. There's a lot of good ideas in this game beneath the surface that really kind of just strike home. There's a lot of interesting stuff. We're getting away from the Reaper plight. We don't necessarily have to, you know, do weird stuff with the story depending on the ending of Mass Effect 1 through 3. We're trying to establish a new, I don't even want to say trilogy, just a new plot arc with the character choice and stuff. And that's fine and all. But let's talk about the implementation, right? Beneath all that potential, that moundless potential, infinite, what do, right? They remove Paragon and Renegade. This is the first thing right off the bat, you'll notice. They removed Paragon and Renegade. They said it was too linear or whatever, and that they wanted to establish a more overarching style of bullshit. Right? Okay, so what's the system that they implement? You have logical, you have heartfelt, I don't even remember what the actual names are. You have professional, and then you have casual. All four of these options feel like bullshit to me. They don't really matter to anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really feel like they impact anything on even a level remotely close to Paragon and Renegade. It just feels like it's just a colorful way to add 4 different dialogue choices that all lead back to the same thing. And we could argue that, you know, well, Mass Effect generally has a set plot and your actions don't impact much. Yeah, but Paragon and Renegade actually did impact shit in the original games. You could convince certain characters to commit suicide and skip a boss fight. You could convince someone who would otherwise be an enemy to join your side. You could convince people to stand down or to see the error of their ways or just to see your way. You could threaten people, you could charm them. That's my point, is that it played a role in the gameplay. To be like, oh, okay, I can do this now. Cool. Now I can skip this, or I could add this, or I could be nice and save people. Cool, right? Nice. That's interesting. That's fun. That's great. This game doesn't do that. This game, I feel like all the dialogue choices are bullshit. It's all fluff. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck about any of it. It didn't really impact anything because at the end of the day, it came down to binary choices. What does it matter? It comes down to, do I want to save this or save that? Same shit. It's even worse than Paragon Renegade, because there's not even an option to Paragon or Renegade your way through a binary choice anymore. They just give you a binary choice and that's it. So that fails. The dialogue in this game fails. Not to mention that the story, the characters, the dialogue feels two-dimensional, very tropey, very stereotypical, very, you know, I understand some plot elements that, you know, they want to keep because they were successful in Mass Effect 1 through 3, fine. Like the Krogan getting the shaft, fine. But like a lot of this stuff is just boring, uninteresting garbage. It doesn't add anything to the game. It doesn't promote anything. It's just simply there just to be there, I feel. It doesn't do anything for the game, the gameplay, anything like that at all. I just feel like the characters are uninteresting. I think the voice acting is half-assed in most situations. I think that, you know, I'm not even going to talk about the facial animations, right? I know I just did, but that's not even factoring in. Like, moving beyond the fact that people in this game look fucking horrible, they're also uninteresting to talk to. They're boring. They're fundamentally not intriguing, interesting, or otherwise unique to fucking interact with. They're just there as something to give me a quest, go here, kill X, come back, the end. That's an MMO. That I could play an MMO and get more fun. And it's just like, you have a game where the whole series is based around talking to people, dialogue, story exposition, characters you care about. That's why I don't care if people die. I don't care if in this game people die or not. I didn't grow to like them. And Mass Effect 1 made that mistake with Kaidan, sure. Most people don't pick Kaidan. Even women don't pick to save Kaidan a lot because Ashley is more fleshed out. But that's just one character. This game is a whole game of Kaidans. I don't care about any of them. They could all die and I wouldn't care. It's just like, okay, well, like you saw at the end there, Captain Dunn. Whatever. You know, she almost died. Just whatever. I don't care. I really just don't care. And it's just really kind of sad. I just, whatever. These characters are fundamentally uninteresting. The only interesting character in the game is the father. The father is basically more or less gone very quickly. And it's just, alright, so the characters in this game, that doesn't get a plus. The gameplay is the only thing I really do feel is an improvement over the older Mass Effects. The fact that you can bounce everywhere, jump around, you know, you can fight in the air, you can hover, you know, there's verticality to the combat. That's cool, right? That's an improvement, that's an addition in every measure. Cool, but it's not strong enough to carry this game, especially the loss of the power wheel to make the game more fast-paced. Just feels half-assed. It just feels like, oh, here's 3 powers, just whatever. There's trouble, in my opinion, sometimes activating the L1R1 maneuver. That's whatever. Graphically, I'm not going to say much about this game. It's just there's so much potential, and I just feel like they squander it. It's boring. Missions are fucking boring. There's side missions. Drax's mission was the highlight of this game. Drax's mission, I don't know what it was the the mission in the game. That, hands down. It was the funniest. It was the greatest. Maybe it's just because Drax is a character that is on par with Mass Effect 1 through 3 writing, but whatever. I don't care. I really just don't. Eventually I'll play this game when I get bored and there's nothing else to play. But right now there's no shortage of shit to play. So, you know, like, I have no reason to continue playing this game. It's boring. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about any of the fetch quest missions. Landing on planets is cool. I like that planets feel a little more fleshed out, but, like, there's only 6 planets. Not even. There's really only 5. And that's it. Just nothing. I feel like they didn't do enough. I feel like this is all smoke and mirrors. And now there's the whole DLC episode. A few days ago, I believe on July 1st or something around then, they said that, oh, well, this game... There was a rumor that this game wouldn't get DLC, and BioWare came out and said, yeah, that's not true. Although apparently they also said there wouldn't be any single-player DLC for this game. If that's the case, then what the fuck? And then why even care? The whole Quarians and the other races, I guess that's just going to get written out. No one cares about it. It's whatever. Because that could have been a DLC. Is that, oh, well, here's the Quarian arc, and it adds a new planet or 2, and a set of missions or whatnot. Nope. Nothing. This game is just a fucking bargain bin. I'm glad I got it for fucking money off when I did, but still, this game is the definition of average. If you want a spacefaring game and you don't know anything else about the other franchise games, then sure, fine. It'll work in your favor. However, if you played the other Mass Effect games, you're going to be disappointed, I feel, because there's nothing about this game that lives up to the quality, the hype, the fun of the last Mass Effect games. Like, Mass Effect 1 ends on a great fucking final fight. The whole Vermeer stuff, great plot exposition followed by a kick-ass ending. Mass Effect 2, the whole game is building up to this epic suicide mission on the Collector base. Beautiful. Mass Effect 3, I mean, admittedly, that's the weak part of the game. But at least the remainder of the game was pretty dope. This... Sorry, dude. This game does not get a pass from me. It's just... It's terrible at points. It goes from being fun occasionally with the combat and the fast-paced nature of it and the combos, which I think are kind of unnecessary, to being downright boring, you know, just whatever. I'm slugging from A to B, hoping that a little bit of fun will happen, to being just downright terrible with a lot of the fucking dialogue and the story and the other bullshit. It's just, I don't care about anything in this game. It's typical. It's cookie cutter. This feels like a fucking indie game. If this was an indie game, I wouldn't be giving it so much shit, but I know that they can do better, and they've done better. They shortchanged us. We've been bamboozled. So it's good to know that not only was I right about everything I said about this game, but I knew, or not that I knew, but then everything else about it that could have been good to redeem it was also pretty much ass or average. So thankfully, buying used games, still a viable strategy in 2017. This game is just the pinnacle of fucking averageness. Like, with slightly above average fucking mechanics. That's it for this playthrough. I honestly almost want to just make this little end part a verdict. I don't know. What would I score this game? It has to be mid-70s. It's the pinnacle of fucking average. Nothing about this game is unique, memorable, something you'd actually want to come back to time and time again. It just doesn't size up to anything decently. So, like, I fucking whatever, dude. Give it a 70. Give it a fucking 70 and just call it a fucking day. because it's good if you want to have fast-paced combat, but it's not something like I'd reliably see myself playing over and over again. It has no real replay value in my opinion because the story isn't that great and the combat gets repetitive. While good, repetitive is not something to strive for. So that's basically it for this fucking playthrough. I'm done. I'm glad to be done. And at the end, I was getting a little short-tempered with the game because it's just, why even bother? There's side missions that are more interesting and more fun than the end of the game. The final mission should be something that you cannot do anywhere else in any video game for the most part. And this game does not even attempt to try to make it memorable or anything. There's no even catharsis with the final villain. There's no Paragon or Renegade to even make an impact on stuff. So the dialogue choices are just flavor text. It doesn't do anything. It's a bunch of lip service from these people, and I'm out. Peace. See you for something else.